Ansel Adams Award in 1993. In 2011, he was given the Aldo Leopold Foundation's first Achievement Award given to an individual. He was an original governor-appointed member of the Lottery Lake Board of Great Outdoors, Colorado, and speaks to thousands of people each year to rally their support for timely land use. We are blessed because we are going to be some of those thousand people tonight to get to hear from John. But before I do that, Grandmaster, I understand you have something to give to this gentleman. Is that correct? May I give you the microphone, sir?
I found out that we have at least a small lane. Mr. Fielder was telling me that his uncle was the CEO of CF&I Steel Corporation, which, as many of you know, is the #1 employer in Pueblo for a number of years. And so he has made a number of trips to Pueblo. And actually, I think his uncle had some influence in terms of him moving out to Colorado in the first place. And so we can thank Pueblo for, at least to some extent, in terms of making Fielder out here. John, would you join me here for a minute? I have a little plaque that I'd like to give you. It says, "The most worshipful Grand Lodge of Colorado, AF&A, whereas noteworthy personal contributions to society are praiseworthy, and whereas outstanding dedication and service to mankind are worthy of recognition. Therefore, be it known that this award of excellence is awarded to Mr. John Fielder in recognition of an outstanding and lasting contribution to all Colorado Masons for devoting your time and talent in recording and preserving the history of Colorado. Your work rivals Colorado for all the world to see and enjoy through your unique and outstanding work. Presented on behalf of all Masons in Colorado by the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge, AF&AM of Colorado, signed by Scott Autry, Grand Secretary, and myself as Grand Master."
Thank you, Senator. trucks over here. I think they're for sale, I'm not sure. I heard something downstairs that, is it, 20, 30, 40? We have a charity, which is the Scottish Rite Foundation for Children. Edith Braces was going to donate a portion of his proceeds tonight to our foundation. Thank you, John.
He's trying to get me to go to 40. It's 30. That's all I can afford. There's a new Canon 5DS 50.6 megapixel camera waiting for me June 1st at Mike's camera that I have to get, so it's going to have to be 30% tonight. But what a great cause. Before I thank you for the award, when Children's Hospital was conceived, conceivers contacted me and asked me for that remarkable institution. So if you've not been to Children's, or you have, and you've not noticed the food service area are those beautiful tiles made in Belgium that are of wildflowers, and all of those wildflower patterns are from my wildflower photos of Colorado that I've made over the years. And then do you know the 4-story glass enclosed elevator shaft? If you look closely at that, 4 stories high, it's etched glass of my vertical aspen tree photos that I've made over the years. So there's lots of little it touches to bring essentially the out of doors, indoors to children's. The theory being, well, interestingly enough, this is the 100th year of Rocky Mountain National Park. And Rocky Mountain National Park was made a park in 1915 in large part because of a man named Enos Mills. And Enos Mills was a naturalist, climbed Long's Peak 300 times in his life, taking children as young as 8 and adults as old as 80, top of Long's Peak, and teaching them about ecological science. And Enos said, among other things, that there is no hospital, no doctor, no physician, no school teacher, no school, no minister, no church that can do more for humanity than can nature by engaging people in the outdoors and appreciating the natural world. So that was the theory of Children's, was to bring, with all the glass and all the treatment indoors, to bring out of doors, indoors process for the children. So I'm glad, yes, once you do your Christmas shopping, birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day tonight, 30% go back to the, what I understand to be sight and sound processes that you support at Children's Hospital. I want to thank the Masons, the Columbine Lodge, Dexter Grandmaster for this award tonight, and Michael Zeff for inviting me. And it's quite an honor. I'm not a Mason, but I know what Masons stand for in the world today, and that is integrity and dignity and honesty and these values and qualities that we just don't have enough of in the world today. And I've been recruited by Rotaries and Masons in the past and other service organizations to become a part of them, and hopefully someday I can settle down and do that. But right now I'm too peripatetic. Do you know that word? Nomadic. I call myself peripatetic. I spend very little time at home. So someday I hope that I would qualify for Masonry to learn, and as you explained to me tonight at dinner, to be made a better person because of that. So this is a great honor. Thank you so much. And yes, as the inscription relates, this is what I enjoy doing, is going to places that most people don't get to go, and bringing back visual evidence of 4 billion years of the miracle of life on Earth. How lucky we are to be sentient beings on a planet, in a solar system, in a galaxy extrapolate all the way to 2100 and ask ourselves, what do we want this extraordinary place, Colorado, to look like in 100 years? And will we have the courage to make the decisions necessary to protect whatever those values and desires would be? So the book went on to become Colorado's best-selling book of all time. That book put the first 2 Fielder kids through college. Yes, that's a beautiful thing. And there's a volume 2. Many of you may not realize this, but when Katie Fielder got into DU, University of Denver, I needed cash. There was another 110 photo there from the project that didn't get into the first book, which was already too big as it was. And so 6 years later, we published volume 2. So if you don't have this one, it's half the price of the first book, and it's the rest of the project. So the 2 books together are not redundant. They're the sum of the whole project. And remember, $50 times 30% is $15 back to Children's Hospital